Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name's PF, and on today's episode we're going to be covering yet another brand new release. The last two videos I've done have been brand new releases. This one is no exception. It's probably a little bit older than some of the other ones I've done, but you know, in terms of whiskies, we're talking new stuff. This is the Glengoyne Legacy Chapter 1 for 2019. Now, if you haven't heard of this, obviously we're talking about a no age statement whiskey here, but a couple of the good things you can learn at the distillery is that they never release a whiskey under their own name at less than 8 years. They say that this one here is a minimum of 9 years and it averages out at around 11 years. So there's going to be some older stuff in it that to balance it out a little bit. That I got at the distillery themselves. Now, I picked this up fairly recently at the distillery. If you haven't seen my vlog on the distillery itself and my little trip that I did for that, then go and check that one out. I'm actually quite proud of that video in the end. It's a bit rough still, but you know, I'm happy with how it came out. This was one of the bottles that I picked up. I didn't cover this whiskey immediately because it was somewhat of a whirlwind tour, and I was very impressed with the distillery, and I didn't want my opinion of this specific whiskey to be kind of swept up in that kind of enthusiasm that I had at the time. I wanted to bring this home, enjoy it in the comfort of my own home, and compare it with the other whiskies in the same way that I do with everything else I review. So I have now brought this home, I've enjoyed it, and now it's time for me to give you guys my opinion on this. First couple of things to note are 48%, not to be sniffed at. It is £55, so this does go slightly above my usual kind of £50. I really do need to try it first before I buy it, and that is exactly the case with this one. You know, I tried it at the distillery, I enjoyed it. I went there with a mind to buy a bottle. I had actually gone there with the mind to buy a kind of 15 or an 18 or something like some age statement. I ended up getting a few samples in the end. I picked up a 12 and an 18. So, you know, all things considered, I think I did okay. I was going to buy the teapot dram, but I wasn't quite drunk enough to spend £90. Maybe I should have. We'll see, we'll see. Back to this. Natural coloured, non-chill filtered. Now, as I said, it's roughly sort of 11 years in age, so it's going to be compared heavily to the 12-year-old, and I'll sort of run through the differences of that a little bit later on. It's a very limited release, so it's going to be something like 30,000 units, roughly. You know, no one really knows how much it is until they've sold it all, I guess, or bottled it all. But I do have to say that if you're interested in buying this, whether you're planning to drink it or not, I would do so pretty quickly because it's sold out on a lot of websites right now. It's sold out on the Glengoyne website, but Master of Malt in the UK still have it, and if you're wherever you are in the world, I would check your local stockist pretty soon because it's already disappearing, and then they'll move on to the next chapter in this maybe next year. They're meant to be annually releasing these things, so they couldn't say exactly how many they're going to be doing, but they've told me between 3 and 4 releases, depending on how well these things sell. It's designed around the legacy, so they're going to be doing things that honour certain parts of their traditions. This one in particular, it deals with Cochrane Cartwright, which was one of their old distillery managers back in the day, and he was key in their modern age because he was the one that decided to use ex-sherry casks. So this one is heavily ex-sherry first fill, ex-Oloroso sherry from their own place in Jerez. And it also includes a little bit of Glengoyne refill. So this is their own spirit has been in it, now they're using it again. The 12-year-old. Now the 12-year-old is significantly cheaper, nearly £20, £18 cheaper in the UK, and it comes in at 43%. That's a big difference, and it also includes their kind of the sherry casks, but also some first fill ex-bourbon. So there is a significant difference in the flavour profile of these. I will cover the 12 eventually with my wee little sample. Now I think I've probably banged on about this enough, and you probably want to know what the whiskey's like. So let's get into it and see what we've got in the glass. Now it's got a really nice nose to it. It's honey forward, it's toffee forward, but it's not overly sweet. And for me, lots of dried fruits in there, things like sultanas and raisins, things like that. It's not kind of like Dalmore raisins, but they're definitely in there. It's the kind of things you'd expect from kind of heavy sherry influence. Let's get onto the palate. Now, if you're quick, you get a very, very slight dried fruit flavour, you know, your kind of raisins, but you have to be super quick to pick it out because very quickly a huge waft of spice just flows over the palate, and we're talking a kind of like a cinnamony spice. Really nice, big hitting. And for me, obviously the sherry influence is quite key there. Lots of sherry coming through. The finish is fairly medium-y, but for me there's quite a stark drop off, so it sticks around, gone. But it's the spice that does that. And once that's gone, it leaves this kind of nice sherry note to it. I mean, for me, I picked it up because I liked it. And that's a very good key point. I tried it before I bought it, I enjoyed it, happy with the purchase. There's going to be a lot of people that will buy this to flip it later on once the set is complete. Not really into that, but you know, I think you should buy to enjoy or buy to share or whatever. Pop it, drink it, enjoy it. Personally, I think it's a good whiskey. A lot of you will be sceptical of the no age statement, but I think they do enough on here to kind of promote it without that age statement. They could do it if they wanted to, you know, like I said, they could put a 9 on it, but then people would compare it against the 10, which is a lot cheaper than this. I think this one's just a little bit more quality than the 10. I have got a review of the 10, so you can go check that one out as well. That's my thoughts on it, so let me know what you think about it anyway. I think it's pretty good, and like I said at the beginning of the show, if you're interested in this in any way, shape or form, and you're and ahhing, make sure you make your purchase soon, because this thing is going to disappear pretty quickly and then it'll be gone forever. Secondary market will come around, but I don't think it's going to be really worth that secondary market price. £55 is already quite a lot to be asking for it. I think it's just about worth it, priced pretty well. I would have preferred it if it was just less than 50, but that's just me. I think, buy and enjoy.